But there are obviously clear policy incentives that the policy planks that he has to get across in this next 4 years, and there's no question about that. He definitely has to get through gun control. He definitely has to get through immigration. There's also things that people want to see him get through. And on the progressive side, there are things that we want to see the president push through. And, you know, when we talk about what we want to see the president push through, from the grassroots, not from the grass top, because I think sometimes as progressive and as folks that are part of the leadership class in our respective communities, we only think about the grass top and not the grassroots. But somebody who understands the grassroots of this all is a good friend to me, and we're so happy she's on the show tonight, is Kristin Rowe-Finkbeiner, the founder and executive director of MomsRising. Hey, Kristin, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. Thanks
for being on. Now, when you have this conversation about what the grass top wants based on what the grassroots want, but we'll talk about the nitty-gritty and what we think we can get through. But if you had a wish list of stuff that the president could get in this second term, what would be number one?
Number one is a hard question because, frankly, the family economic security issues that we work on and that we hear about from our members are tightly linked together. We want to see things addressed, like the fact that child care costs now more than college in most states in our nation, which is a huge impact on family economic security. And actually, child care workers are some of the lowest paid workers in our nation. We've got huge fixes to do there because in order for people to be able to work, they need safe, enriching places for their kids to be. We want to see fair pay. It sounds very 1950s, but still, women on average make only 77 cents to a man's dollar, and moms and women of color have increased wages on top of that. We want to see things like continued implementation of health care reform, access to paid sick days, access to paid family leave. I could go on for a long time, but I will not bore your listeners with this long list, unless they have a pen out.
You're not boring me here. There's one thing that I do want to amplify. We talk about fair pay for women now. What else can the president do? Because there's a lot of progressives that don't know. Besides just the Lilly Ledbetter Act, which was the first bill he passed in 2008 when he first put his hand on the Lincoln Bible, what else can the president do to make sure that there's fair pay for women legislatively?
Well, the president can support and does support passing the Paycheck Fairness Act. The Paycheck Fairness Act has been before Congress a number of times. It has passed through the House at one point. It passed through the Senate at one point. It has never passed through both bodies at the right time in sequence on the president's desk. So we're really looking for the Paycheck Fairness Act to move through Congress and to get to the president's desk. We're also looking for, when we are addressing our national budget, we want to see women's economic security issues inside the national budget instead of separated and put outside into bills that have been, sort of languishing and will pass maybe in the year 3000. So we really need to look at the way that we're looking at our national budget and incorporate fair pay, incorporate access to jobs, incorporate access to contracts, all into the big bills that actually move.
Now, what does the Fair Paycheck Act do that would amplify the role of women in the household and the role of women in the workplace and make that, then create that that paycheck or that income equality?
Well, one of the interesting things that it does is it allows people to know how much other people that are doing the same job they do make, and then allows them to advocate for them to receive equal pay. Right now, in many places, it's illegal to know how much your coworkers are making, or it's against actual workplace policy. So we have things like we saw with Lilly Ledbetter, which was she actually was making less for 19 years than a person who had her same job and then found out by accident 19 years later that she had been making less, and then because of the time that had lapsed, she wasn't actually able to sue to get that money back. So what the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Restoration Act did was allowed women who find out that they have been discriminated against to actually sue to get that funds back again. Now, what we want now is we want to be able to daylight what's really going on. And what's going on is not good. It is not happy. And we know that, for example, this is interesting, women without children make 90 cents to a man's dollar. Women with children make 73 cents to a man's dollar. Single moms make 60 cents to a man's dollar. And women of color have an increased wage hit on top of that. Now, I hope you're doing math and you're writing this down with a pencil, because 81% of American women have children by the time they're 44. So this means the vast majority of women are experiencing huge wage hits when they have kids. And those wage hits they don't tell you about them at the job interview. They don't tell you about them at the water cooler. We need to really daylight what's going on, and the Paycheck Fairness Act will do that.